All right.
Yeah, there we go. Should have it ready now. So how are y'all doing?
Doing
Hey,
good. Doing good.
there
Big
we go.
prayer.
Good.
What's going
Okay, we got
on?
Man,
everybody now. Are,
yeah.
have y'all been loving the Zoom interviews, or are you getting sick of them? Where are we with Zoom?
I kind of like them. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's good to just sit up in the studio room and just chop it up for a minute.
yeah,
Yeah,
same
they've been
here.
convenient, to stay in touch with people and connect and stuff. So it's been very, uh, very timely, like
Yeah,
for this whole Zoom situation to pop up at a time where folks needed a way to stay connected because of, real life
everything.
situations, if you will. So yeah, it's been cool. It's been cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for your time. I'm excited to connect. I mean, my name is Kirby. I'm an interviewer, writer, content creator, and I'm excited. I like the song. Always like when I can get a nice vibe and some holiday spirit going. So I really enjoyed it. And I just want to learn a little bit more about like how you two even connected.
Uh, you want to share? You want me to share?
It's
That's a
So
long
yeah,
a long story. Okay.
it's a
yeah.
funny story. So I used to work at this record store on a strip called Peter Street in Atlanta.
Mhm.
And the record store just happened to have a recording studio because it was like a loft. Like you go in, it's records everywhere, and then upstairs it's recording studio. And at
Mhm.
this time, I was really the only person working at the shop because my boss had fired everybody, so I was the only employee at the shop.
Okay.
So I would just be up there, you know what I'm saying, in the studio working. And
Mhm.
one day, it's me, my boy David Luke, and two of my other friends.
Not the day.
And my friend, she gets locked out. She gets locked out of the record store. So we go to let her in, and she like, oh, music outside. She just said it kind of normal. Like
Yeah.
music cool, you know what I'm saying? So we all come to the door, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I was one. I don't. Did you ever? I don't think you ever told me that part.
I might have told you bits and pieces. I might have told you bits and pieces.
Like I know everything else, but I didn't understand. I don't think I remember. I don't think I remember you telling me
Hmm.
that part happened because I was trying to figure out like why y'all just like at the door is
Why is
so
everybody
Right.
outside?
walking down the street like that's so like perfect like
Yep.
how
Yes.
I never okay cool
It
all
had
right
to be. It had to be a line. It had to be a line.
right
'Cause this was
right that's what I
2013.
was thinking like it just had to be like perfect timing yeah
Things happen how they're supposed to.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yep. So yeah. So we basically was like, I'm a songwriter. David's a producer. We working on some stuff upstairs. Would you please, 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 please just come check out some of our stuff. And he was like, cool. You know what I mean? He was like, all right,
Right.
bet. So he came up, listened to some songs, heard us, showed us a bunch of love, and he was like, look, I'm coming to work with y'all the very next day. They said they were coming at 8 o'clock the next day. At 8 o'clock, they were there, and we was
Wow.
yeah, we was working since then. We just been locked in.
and
Nice.
what year was that again
That was 2013.
yeah that's a minute ago
Yeah.
yeah
Wow. Wow. And why, tell me why it was important to create this song? Was it because of everything going on? Or y'all just big lovers of the holiday? Like, why was it important to tell it? Was there some inspiration behind it? Like, what, what was the purpose for this one?
It was really important because the year has just been so tough. The year's been so tough, and I know that people were gonna be looking forward to the holidays. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? A lot of the year, people haven't been able to spend time with their families, or just a lot of people that they would want to be connected with.
Hmm.
So we call it simple as Christmas. I don't want much. I just want you. That is like you realize that is the most important thing. You just want to be with the people that you love through the holidays. So we just wanted to do something that make folk feel warm, that they can play with their family or they love,
Hmm.
and that's what we did.
Okay,
yeah
so speaking of this time, tell me a little bit, personally, both of you, just how you've been able to like stay strong and connect. I know it's a strange time where you're not being able to see your loved ones. A lot of people aren't traveling, different things like that. With quarantine, how have you been able to just stay positive and productive?
opportunities present themselves and it's a matter of you being willing to work with it even though it's different than what you're accustomed to. I
Right.
think that this year has been extremely challenging for a lot of people. It's been calling them to do things that may be outside of their comfort zone.
Hmm.
But if your intention, you know, um, was what it was before the
Hmm.
quarantine, then you should also, you know, you should continue to lead by your intention, and it's going to help you to figure everything out, because as long as you're focused on, you know, what's important, just like he said, you know, people are in a time where they're not able to connect with their loved ones. So they started to, I wouldn't say started to, some people may have just started to, because, and not to judge them, it's very real. Sometimes you get caught up in your own world that you just forget. It just happens. You just, you know, charge it to your mind and not your heart. But you start to revalue and understand the value of everybody that's around you, you know, the people that are most important, the people that keep you up, the people that you look to for inspiration and comfort and love. So you start to, you know, recalibrate your focus by putting what's important more priority, you know, versus what you have to do for the people that's more important, where you tend to make that more important than the people that you're doing it for. So I think this song is so important, or a song like this, to use this moment in time, the holiday season, just to remind people, yeah, we could all of that, but you know what's really important, right? You know, so yeah, so I think that it's a reflection, it's a Christmas representation of 2020, you know. So I think that we all have our own journey and challenges of figuring out 2020. And just because, you know, I myself and other people who may be seen, who may seem like we're doing so well off, nah, we're people just like everybody else. We're affected by everything just like everybody else. We're just in a different position with different options to deal with it, but we go through the same things, you know. So I try to just continue to stay positive. I've had my moments where it got a little weird for me, you know.
I think that's across the board,
yeah. But I, you know, I was able, thankfully, to figure it out. I counseled with my peoples. I talked to Lex a couple times about things, and you know, he definitely gave me positive reinforcement. So, you know, it's just hanging on and leaning on the people that affect you in a positive way, and that can inspire, inspire you to utilize your better angels, versus, you know, leaning on your lower demons, man, because they will take you out if you're not careful.
Very true. Yeah. You know, I have to say, Alex, I want to hear your answer too, and I have to say one thing from knowing both of your backgrounds, Lex with the Grammy nomination, Musiq, you're such a legend, so many different things both of you do. You know, you both seem to have a very humble spirit. So let me ask this, which is not like one of my original questions. How important is humility to both of you?
Well, you know, we both Virgos.
Oh, goodness. Virgos are crazy.
I want Musiq to speak on because he really such a really great music. You know what I mean? He's really a great icon to me. So and a lot of times the people that I meet like him are always humble. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel like it's like an intentional mindset of why he is the way he is. You know, so I really want him to speak on that.
It's for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but I think that it's important to practice humility, because it's very easy to forget. You know how like you didn't know something, and then you learned something, and then that very thing that you learned, that you just learned, you run into somebody that shows that they don't know.
Right.
And then you come at them like, man, you don't know that?
Yes, like you learned it yesterday.
You didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
That air of arrogance, that'll take you out, because people are not going to want to deal with you. You know, they're not going to feel open to you, towards you. They're not going to be welcoming towards you, because you don't have a welcoming energy. You don't have, you know, a supportive spirit. So people that need help, people that are in need, they're going to seek out people they feel is going to help them. Right. You know. So if you have this air of arrogance and, you know, this essence of cockiness, you know, you may be dope, you know, and it's very easy to identify what's dope and what's not dope. But all of that is irrelevant if you're not a good person. All of that is irrelevant if you don't mean anybody else well, when you don't have no level of consideration, when you have no level of compassion, you know. I remember when it wasn't good for me, like it was yesterday. You know, and remembering that makes me more empathetic to people who are in those type of situations. Maybe physically in their life, or just inside in their mind or in their heart, they may not have arrived or have evolved to a better version of themselves. So being humble or practicing humility, it puts you in a position where you can notice that, and you can be more of an assistance to a person, which in turn helps you out, because it may put you on some game that you're not even thinking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And typically people who practice humility, it's almost like an unfortunate feature of that personality trait, but you're the last person you consider because you put so many people before you. And it's a balancing act that you have to learn how to get better at, because you don't want to deplete yourself as well, because now you're not in a position to do anything for anybody, you know, most of all yourself. So that's the only thing that I will say that you have to be mindful of when it comes to practicing humility.
Yeah.
But I think it's important because no one is better than anybody. No one is above anything. And as long as you remember that, you'll be able to navigate through things better, versus you thinking that you're better than everybody or anybody. You're thinking that you're above things, and then when reality sits you down, you got to deal with it now.
Right, right. Whew, I'm getting gems, guys. Y'all dropping all these gems.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just real. It's just
yeah,
real.
it's almost like, okay. So tell me a little bit specifically, you know, about the song, and like, I just like when I listen to it, sometimes I feel like I miss like, quote unquote, like real music, and you hear such like talent, you know, from both of you. So tell me about your process of creating the song. I don't want to get into your business too much, but I mean, you know, tell me the process. What made you create it? Why do you feel like it was a necessary story to tell? And just tell me what that process was like to create it.
So it was a lot of people involved in this song. So it started with, like, I already had in my mind, I knew I was like, I want to do a Christmas song. You know what I mean? I don't know where to start, but I got a good friend named Elijah Fox. He's from North Carolina, and he always sends me different piano tracks. Like, he just playing. So I knew I wanted that classic sound, found the piano, called my boy, he wrote a producer. We sat down, and he put drums to it, like after I had already started coming up with melodies. And I just started bringing the team together, brought in Ruben Royster to play bass on there. And then with the song, when we finally got into the studio, I had a couple melodies and ideas, but we sat down together and really honed in on the concept and on the all the melodies. And it really came together kind of fast. It was
pretty quick, yeah. It
that
did.
was quick. Okay.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, Lex, whenever we work together, stuff like happens like that anyway. So
yeah, easily. You know what I'm saying? Like the music can just flow naturally. And it always did every time we work.
Have you guys worked together a lot before in the past?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
You know,
well, I mean, so he told you the story about how we met in 2013.
Right.
Like, since then, you know, we've had off and on moments, you know, where time stretches, but in some capacity, we've worked along with it. This dude, even he went out on the road with me. He was my tech for a little while.
Nice.
Like, I just always wanted to like be close to this dude, because that's what I'm talking about. Like, when you practice, you know, a spirit of humility, you're able to discern, you know, opportunities, and also people, you know, who can contribute to opportunities for you, and also how you can contribute opportunities for people. So I felt that it was important to keep a person like him close, because it's rare. It's rare to find a person like him in all, you know, that he's capable of, and his upward potential that I can recognize. You know what I'm saying? So because of the relationship, you know, in my opinion, I feel like that's the reason why when we connect and we work, it just, you know, there's no interference. You know, we're not in competition with each other. We're not looking down on each other in any way. Like, we actually respect each other, and we want to uplift each other. So out of that, we connect, and it flows, you know, that much better.
Nice.
You know, so yeah.
That's interesting. And so many people who like follow the blog, a lot of them are like independent artists or content creators, and they're just trying to get their work out to different people, and, you know, trying to let people hear their music. So they hear the importance of like relationship building with y'all. Tell me if you could give a tip to some of these people who are like, I just want to get my music heard, or I would love, you know, to work with a Musiq Soulchild and Lex. Like, you know, I remember coming to your, you know, your video premiere and seeing like Keke Palmer. I know people who would love to get her in the video, different things like that, and they just don't know how to connect with these people. But you guys are doing it, you know. You Musiq, you're, you know, here working with Lex, and Lex, you know how to build these relationships. Like, if you can give a tip to some of these people on how to do that, how to work the magic like you have done, what advice would you give to them? And I guess Musiq, what would you say if they were trying to, you know, connect with you as well?
So I'll say, because you just mentioned the word magic. You said work the magic. And
Yeah.
I would tell everybody watching, it ain't magic. Okay.
you said it's work, right?
Yeah, it's you know what I'm saying, just because like when I met Musiq, when I met Keke, you feel me, I was already working, and that's a
Right.
big part of why we was able to grow together. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, Musiq, he touring, he always doing something. He touring, or he, you know what I'm saying, he performing, or he dropping new music. And if I was just sitting around like waiting, like, okay, I just hope to meet Musiq again, you know,
Right.
then it would
Right.
be like when he finally get back, it's gonna be
Good
like,
luck.
what we got to talk about. You feel me?
Right.
So it's about, you know, you you're doing the work, you know, on your own. And then when you meet people that like your energy and appreciate you, and you have stuff to bring to the table too, you feel
Yeah.
me? People will always be happy to have you around because you are of value, and they know that they don't got to carry you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I feel like that's like people can take a sigh of relief when they're like, I don't got to carry you, bet. You know, let's
Right.
go. We can run. That's when you really have a partnership with somebody.
That
So
makes
I say that's the main thing. Keep doing the work, because you can meet people all the time. You can be walking down
Yeah.
the street and meet someone.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
about what you bring to the table too.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think that people understand how important it is for you to be valuable too. Like, you can't seek out people that you feel are valuable people and then you want them to do something for you.
Right.
It's like, you have to understand that you're valuable as well, but you have to have value. So you have to generate or manifest rather your own value that a person can recognize. You got to
Yeah.
remember, don't nobody know you.
Right.
So whatever it is you want them to know about you should already be in play.
That makes sense. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I can refer to it. Okay, you say that you're out of that. Okay, where is it? I want to see it. And then if you hit them with the, well, actually, oh, okay, you already left.
Over.
Nobody got time for that, bro. Like, nobody. You know how many people are in this world trying to do what you're doing right now?
Right.
So a lot of people take offense to that from, you know, quote unquote celebrities, when we don't have, man, you won't even listen, bro. You don't even realize that you led wrong. Like, you don't even realize it. I don't have enough time to educate you right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm consumed and busy with whatever it is that I'm doing. It's not to say that you're not important. It's just that if it was more important to you, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now.
Right.
Or let's just, you know, in their defense, it just may not be meant. Just may not be time right now. You may need to go through a couple things. You may need to get to different levels in order for us to even do anything, because right now, wherever you may be, just, you know, in a way that it may not be compatible or working, we'll just be wasting each other's time. You're going to be expecting me to do something that I cannot inherently assist you with, because I would need for you to be in a better position for me to do something with it. But if you don't have anything for me to do anything with, I can't help you right now.
Yeah.
So to his point, you have to have whatever it is that you about in play, so that a person can attach themselves to it and assist you with it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's the thing that that we learn in our life. God helps those who help themselves. If you just sit back waiting on somebody to do it for you, bro, good luck.
Yeah.
Let it be known what you about, you know, let it be known, because you could be about anything. But if I can discern, I can understand what you're trying to do. It's like, oh, bet, I can help you with that. I get it. I get where you're trying to go. You know, I can also impart some game onto you as well. Like, yo, if you're going to do it, hey, here's some ideas of how you should do it. You know, do what you want, but here are your better options you may not be aware of.
Right.
You know, because it's challenging to see things from a space where you've never been.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
people look at us because we're there, we're where they want to be, you know, but a lot of people also, they imagine what it is. They imagine what it takes. You have imagination. I have actual information. So are you going to be receptive or not? Are you going to listen to what I have to tell you and understand like I'm trying to help you, or you going to tune me out because you don't want to hear, man, that can't be. I'll figure it out. It's cool. Fam,
Right.
you the one asking for help, and I'm where you want to be. Who has the leverage right here? Who
Yeah.
has the seniority? Who has the, you know, but you can't tell nobody nothing. I never try to make anybody do anything or do what I say or anything like that. I just provide information. I just tell them, and I may reference my timeline to be like, this is what I did. This is what worked for me. You know, you may want to do it this way. You may want to try that, you know? So relationships are important because you're always going to need help. I don't care how highly you think of yourself. Stay encouraged. You are that dope. But the way that reality and life and the world is set up, especially this industry is set up, there is no physical way, no realistic humanly way you can do this by yourself.
Right.
There is no way. It's too big.
Yeah.
It's way too big, man.
Yeah.
It's way too big. So lean on people, network with people, have real conversations with people. You don't have to get too close to people. I actually recommend that you don't get too close to people because everybody don't say what they mean and mean what they say, you know? However, it's important to get to know people. Be realistic. Be real with people. Don't always push off your facade because now you're creating an expectation, you know, that people are expecting you to live up to. And if you're not about it, don't start crying when it's time to show and prove. You said you
That's what you said you could do.
So-and-so. Like,
yeah.
So now I'm setting things up to assist you and look out for you. You just need to do the part that you said that you was going to do, and you going to crush it. Okay, here you go. And then you want to pull me to the side. Yeah, actually, I'm not, really like there yet. Like, fam.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a lot of levels to it. It's a lot of layers to it. This is really a longer conversation, but basically, you have to be connected with the real you. You have to know yourself enough to know where your challenges are, where your good points and where your strengths are, but also know where your challenges are. And then be able to recognize when a person is trying to help you, versus just telling you what you want to hear, throwing you a couple dollars for a look, and then whenever it don't work no more, you in the past. And some things ain't no coming back from. So
True. You said something that I remember, like a moment in time when I was talking about writing something. They said, let me see your script. And at the time I just didn't have anything. And I was like, oh, well, I don't have anything right now. And I remember that look of, okay.
And it's real. And that's real. But that's what, people in an amateur space, not to be disrespectful or belittling.
No,
it's just that you're in an amateur space. You don't understand the importance of being prepared. Because you feel like I'm ready whenever. That means something different to a person who's actually ready.
Right.
Than you just wanting. Like, no, you have to actually have something to present. You have to have something that represents you. Something to showcase, something that I can connect to now. Not no hold up next week, I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna run to I'm gonna hop in the booth, like no. No. You have to be an already moving thing. Not how much traffic this is being in this business. How much traffic, and you want me to single you out and wait for you, bro? I'm trying to get somewhere. Either you ready to move now, or I'm driving off. Like I don't know what you want me to do. You can't really expect me to stop my entire life for you. Come on, man. Come on. Let's just be realistic. This is not no disrespect, no hate on you. But let's just be realistic. You wouldn't do that for somebody. You would tell them, I'm busy. Okay, that plays out everywhere. So you have to already be in play. Have whatever it is that you about already in play, so that it can be taken and somebody can come through with the assist. You have a ball to give me now.
Right.
Don't tell me I actually got to build up the money to go buy the ball. Like, bro, that's not gonna work for you. That's
like I can press go now. Let me show you.
You get back to me. Or matter of fact, just understand that this opportunity is gone, because that's how opportunities work. They're once in a lifetime. They're abundant. There are a bunch of them, but this one right here it's gone. Now, hopefully you will be ready for your next opportunity. Be ready, you know?
Yeah, I love that answer, and I'm happy. You know, Lex, you corrected me too with the magic thing, because it's not magic; it's work, and I think people
It's a
think it's
lot of
magic
work.
sometimes. You know, so
It's a lot of work.
that was a really good correction. That was a really good correction. So let me ask you, in quarantine, what's the last thing that you guys have seen that's really inspired you musically yourself? I know a lot of people are saying it's such a creative time; they're working on different things, and I know, you know, y'all got a lot
Oh,
coming up. So
oh, that's easy for me.
yeah,
ALex. That's my answer to that question.
love
Yeah,
it.
Because he knows that. So yeah.
Love it.
Nah,
Love
yes,
it.
so
sir.
Yes.
for real, like I've been inspired by so much just like this whole year
Mhm.
because the main thing that because you look at first of all the quarantine itself, they talk about COVID, you know, everybody worry about their life being gone in 2 weeks. You know, then you look at people like George Floyd and the Breonna Taylors and stuff that's continuing to happen. And it just made me think about like, you know, life isn't promised, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like any day. Like
Yeah.
I'm here today. Like a lot of people that die, they be so full of life. You feel me? Like, dang, that's who passed. They was so full of life. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Nobody would have expected. And it's always like that. You know what I'm saying? So I just realized like everything I'm doing right now is for a purpose. I gotta be moving so that I make an imprint in this life. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that thought alone has just been like I just been on a mission. I just been going in. I
Nice.
released my project. We did the Christmas song. You know what I mean? We got more stuff coming, and it
Mhm.
just been, you know, I just want to make the most out of life and everything. The more that I give out, the more that I put out, the more inspired I feel. You know,
Yeah.
so that's been the main thing.
Yes.
And the reason, and so so that right there is the reason why I said ALex, because when you've done something for the period of time that I've done things, you know, things just start to look different. They just start to feel different, you know, they just start to hit different. You know, you've done something for 10, 20 years, you know, is I don't know whether it's natural or it's going to happen, or it's something that you indirectly bring on to yourself by your perspective. But it's very easy to get desensitized. It's very easy to get, you know, jaded, as they say. You just tend to lose focus, and you get removed from the core reason why you're doing what you're doing,
Mm.
because you're so busy trying to manage how you're being affected by it. So
Okay.
sometimes you get thrown off, and it's hard for you to find your way back. And especially if you're using the world as a kind of like way to
Mhm.
find your way, you'll get lost, because that
Yeah.
can mean anything. That could mean anything. I'm grateful to ALex because he's always kind of represented. It's like if you know, like how what a lighthouse is for. If you in like, you know, harsh waters, you out to sea, you're in harsh waters, they have a lighthouse that beams this bright freaking light that goes as far as you can see to help you find your way back to land, back to shore.
Mhm.
So he represented that on so many levels for so many
Nice.
reasons, so
Yeah.
many times for me, you
Mhm.
know, because I've lost my way. There's one other person
Mhm.
that has represented that as well, you know, musically, creatively. You know,
Mhm.
there's people that represent that personally, but creatively,
Mhm.
you know, him being so inspired and him still being on that side, you know,
Yeah.
he hasn't really gone through the crap that I've gone through that has a way of destroying me. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? So he still has like a essence of purity and innocence. You know what I'm saying? No, he's definitely, you know, a vet in his own right,
Mhm.
but he hasn't been this, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Not destroyed. He hasn't been tainted. He hasn't been
Oh,
tainted by the industry. You know what I'm
nice.
saying?
Nice.
So where he is and the things that he says out of where he is reminds me of when I used to be in that mindset
Wow.
before the water got mucky, you know?
Mhm.
So it's been in its own way kind of put, man, look, be cool on that. Let that go. You know what I'm saying? Focus on this, because this is what's important. Let's your output. You know what I'm saying? It's all about your output. Like, what are you putting
Yeah.
out? What are you giving back? What are you know, putting out there? You know what I'm saying? So being
It's
around
crazy how
him and
that can
working with
happen.
him helped me. Yeah. And I wouldn't have known how to ask for
Mhm.
an ALex. you know? So I definitely attribute a lot of my inspiration, you know what I'm saying, to him, you know? I was betting the whole brand, you know what I'm saying? We got a whole group together, you know? I'm like, this is special. We should be working together, bro.
Yes.
Like,
How
how can we keep this going?
Lex, to hear?
You know?
Yeah, man, that's crazy. That's what's up, bro. You know what I'm saying? That means so much because I'm telling you, like, you inspired me and so many others. You feel me? Like, and a lot of times when it's you in the shoes doing the inspiring, a lot of times it's hard to see it. You feel me? Like you don't
Yeah,
even
because I'm
realize.
in the way.
Boom.
I'm in front
You
of the
feel-
light, you know?
Yeah, or it's coming from you. You know what I mean? You don't even
Or I
realize
am the light. Like I can't see myself.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's nice.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a blessing. You know. Sure.
Yeah,
That's
I
nice.
mean,
So
we talk about this all the time. So yeah.
I
so
know,
it.
but it's good. I like to hear it. The fact, because it's like that sometimes. You never know how you're impacting somebody, how they're
Right. Yeah.
impacting you. So it's cool to hear that dynamic and that it created art too. Like it's a really nice song on top of everything. So to know like y'all's history and how y'all have continuously worked together, like it's beautiful to hear, So I know some people are for real. I know some people are going to really get
No,
inspired.
I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah.
But you know, make it a point whenever I can remember to let him know, you know, as much as possible, because you know that's not lost on me, and I know the value of that because I know a reality where that didn't happen. So when it happened, it's literally like somebody just turned the light on, and you just be
Yeah.
like, I've been in the dark this whole time. Like,
Right.
yeah, you didn't realize that the lights was off. Wow, how was it working? Like, yeah, your lights was off and your bill wasn't paid. So I went ahead and got it turned back on. You might want to, you know, figure out how to keep it going though. You know?
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of, you know, we get into it and it happens so random. We don't like nothing. Nobody asks. Nobody's talking. Literally like the meme, how nobody silence and then me, I got, you know what? And another thing, like we just start getting into stuff and
Yeah.
we'll just spend 20-30 minutes up to an hour just elaborating on stuff. And it happens like that. But it happens for me because I be triggered in a good way being around him because he represents like, you know, the potential, you know, of the things that, you know, I be trying to tell people. I don't like I want to tell him that he's already doing it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really dope to see. Like, I know I'm not tripping. See, because this guy
look,
literally doing it. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's just really cool to witness. You know.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So let me ask y'all. So with the song, like what do you want everyone to get from it? What's the emotions you hope they feel? What do you hope they get overall from the song, from the track?
I just hope it make them feel warm, you
Okay.
know, and I just want folks to play this, you know, all the way through the holidays with their
Yeah.
family, while they literally around the fireplace and be like, man, I'm so happy I got you, you know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
and
why he
I
wrote
want,
it that way.
you
So
know,
you're like, at this time,
with the
in this
fireplace to
time of
warm us.
year, yeah, I'm not always there, but when you're here, yeah, when the fireplace to warm us and New Year's there upon us, all I know is, yeah, on this Christmas, I don't want much. All I want is like, I got all I need. So when
Yeah.
we trim the tree, we know that'll be the simplest Christmas. I don't want much. All I
Love
want
it.
is you. Like it's
Yeah.
very simple. But I think people lose that sometimes because you got to get caught up in it. That's the thing about 2020. It slowed everybody down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We had to.
You can't. It's not that easy to get caught up in the rigmarole because you got this thing, these notifications, these daily notifications of, hey, slow down, hey, wash your hands, hey, stay back, hey, put on the
Yeah.
mask, hey, folks is, you know, catching, you know what I'm saying? They're getting caught out there like, yo, be careful, be safe, you know. So it's encouraging you in its own way to be more mindful, to be smarter, to move different, you know. So then it's like, okay, well then I can't do nothing. Well, technically you can. You just have to do more of what you could have been doing this whole
The whole
time
time. Yeah.
versus what you've been distracted by this whole time, which is the people that are in your life and the circumstances of your life that you should be more grateful for, you know, rather than chasing greener pastures. Like, dude, what you have is already good, you know, enhance that, work on that, focus on that, you know, invest in and pour into that, you know. And this is not a shot to nobody. I'm not talking down to nobody or trying to tell nobody what they was doing was wrong. It's just that's just a feature of our reality. You know, we got to the point where we just started chasing stuff. And then right now we're being almost forced to refocus. And either you're gonna take heed and you know, and follow that, or you're gonna still continue to do what you've been doing and get whatever you get out of that, you know? But I like it more so because it has elements of it that is comforting, you know, it has that comforting kind of vibe. Like, it sounds like a fireplace. It sounds like, you know, a warm blanket. It sounds like, you know, it just, you know, it feels like that, you know? So whenever, you know, when he presented me with the track and I felt them chords, I was like, oh, that's dope. I like that, you know? So when I did my backgrounds, I tried to complement the chords with different, you know, progression movements and different transitions, just to kind of, you know, fill it out, you know? So it's a really cool vibe. I really liked it. I like it.
I love songs that you can, like, you know, connect to moments too. Like the fact that this is like a Christmas song. So now it's like, if, you know, you're by the fireplace, you're loving the song, you're with a special person or your family, whoever it is. It's like you hear that and it's like, I want to hear this next year too. I like songs like that you can connect.
Or you can just put it on repeat and have it on in the background just to set the mood.
Exactly. Yeah. So, okay, I'm not going to take too much of your time, but the last thing I want to know, of course, is just like, what's next? What else are y'all working on? Give me tea.
So,
too much. Actually.
So I'll talk about a little bit what I got coming and what I've been doing this month. You know, cause I released my project in September from a seed, and closing out the year, I just been trying to figure out like I knew I wanted to close it out strong, but just trying to figure out like how do I do that? How do I close it out and feel fulfilled and productive? So I just decided I want to give back as much as I can. So you mentioned earlier like some of the things that been keeping me inspired. One of the things is we did a spot giveaway just this past weekend. From a seed spot giveaway where we had exclusive experience, and we chose 5 different women to share their story for 2020. And the 5 most inspiring stories, we just gave them free spot treatment. You know what I'm saying? Like you see the Christmas song just released.
That's so dope, bro.
Just did a video with Genius, Genius lyrics, and me and Musiq, we definitely got more stuff coming. Like we've been working on new stuff. We got the group Lumi Trice together.
Lumi.
We already have a couple songs out. Y'all could probably be looking for a project from us, you know, sometimes in the first, second quarter.
Yeah.
And you know, we just gonna be working.
Busy, y'all busy.
yeah. And then, you know, I got my whole situation on my side too. So that's along with, you know, and just to speak to it, I've been working on not necessarily rebranding, however, kind of hitting the reset button, because I felt I just observed that it's important to do that after a certain amount of time. You know, because the audience you started with, it changed. You know, times have changed. You got people that, you know, are only interested in what you've done, and they don't want no more, you know, especially when you have, you know, the volume of crap that I put out. It's like, you don't need to put out nothing else. Like, just that's it. And I'm like, but I haven't even gotten started yet.
There's more I want to do.
And I had to learn how to understand that those people aren't going anywhere. They're going to be that. Whenever they see you, they want the past. However, I also noticed that there was a whole new audience of people that's constantly like, what else you got? What else you got? What else you got? And whenever I try to give them the past, they're like, that's cool. You ain't got nothing new. And it's like, but I thought y'all didn't want nothing new. I don't know what you're talking about. I want something new. I want something from now.
Does that bother you, or you like, or is it like?
It did.
Okay.
It bothered me before because I didn't understand how to navigate through that. I didn't understand what that meant. I didn't understand what to do. None of it told me what to do. You know, so I was confused for a little while, and that kind of took me through a bunch of, you know, internal changes. But I figured it out. I like to think that I did. Where it's possible. It's a balancing act, but it's possible where I can maintain the brand by servicing the people that show up for that. However, also multitask at the same time. You got to service the new people who, you know, because for me, new people mean a person was 3 when I first came out. Now they're 23. These are facts.
Well, yeah.
And they like, I like your old music, but I'm not finna listen to that all day. Like what you got now, you know, that's sort of like in the same vein, in the same space of what I am listening to. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
You the OG, but I'm not finna just listen to OG music. Like I want new music. You understand what I'm saying? So that was a real transition for me. And I think that that's something that a lot of people don't take into account. They don't understand. Like when you've been around for a while, it gets more and more challenging for us to transition to the new wave because we got to deprogram from where we came from. You know, these are all new things for us. You know, it's like, you know, people laugh at, you know, older folks when they have, you know, when it's not easy for them to use like devices and stuff. But you got to understand, like, they come from a time where this wasn't a thing.
Right, at all. So it's like.
So they have to literally learn a whole new language. You know, that whole computer thing, it may not be that deep to you that grew up in it. You were born in that time. So you got it, you inherited it. So it's part of your day. But you got to realize there are people that come from a time where an iPhone wasn't a thing. A computer wasn't a thing. Like social media wasn't a thing. Like it didn't exist. And I still had to make it happen. I still had to figure it out. I still had to find a way to be noticed. You know, now you could just, you know, hey, and then you can go viral.
Right.
You know how long it took to be known before social media, bro?
Yeah.
So now I have to learn the importance of this new thing that wasn't important at one point in time. Right. I have to get myself completely on board where I know it looks like a bunch of mess, man, but this is the new way, you know? You got to find a way to work with it.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, but there are not enough conversations about that. There's just this expectation for you to just get with the program. And a lot of people is like, this is dumb, I'm out, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's no facilitating systems to help people transition that well. So, but because I had so much that I wanted to put out, I was fighting with it, you know? And that's why it was so important for me to meet a person like ALex, because he's literally doing the same thing that I would do, just in a different time.
Yeah.
And I needed to see what that looked like because I couldn't see the road after a while. Like I just couldn't. I lost my way. So running into a person like him, you know, it was almost like the universe is showing me like, here, this is how it's possible.
Right.
You know, I know you can't see it, but here.
Yeah,
you know, and I was able to be like, yeah, got you.
That's what it is.
I took out my pen and pad and I was like, word, okay. And he was like, yo, let's do this. And typically I'd be like, I don't know how. It's like, you know what? Let's go. Whatever. Let's go.
Right.
You know,
right.
and then when whatever, you know, the idea was come to fruition, then I could see. You know, sometimes you can't see it until it happens. But it won't happen until you do it. But you won't do it unless you're willing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
it's all
and these are the things that I would tell people this all the time, but I didn't notice that it was happening to me. You know, so I'm able to figure it out, but I had to realize, oh, this is one of those moments where you got to figure it out now. You're so busy trying to help people figure it out to get to how far you've gotten. Okay, now you're being called to go further. You can't use what you've used in the past. That's only good to get you where you are.
Right.
Okay, you need to go further.
Yeah, you got to do more. It's interesting, like, hearing you say all this because, like, I worked in radio promotions. I remember, like, some of the personalities telling me, like, it's so different now. Like, celebrities do not want to say anything. Now it's like their whole life is on Instagram. So it's like, what am I even going to talk about? And, you know, then there's other people I've talked to who it's like, okay, this is what they do on Instagram. This is their whole life. I know exactly. So it's interesting hearing those different perspectives with social media, even on my side as an interviewer, because I know some people are super public on social and some people aren't. And they were telling me, you know, to be aware of those
Super
platforms.
public.
Yeah.
Super,
So how
they
do?
tell you their whole life, bro.
Yeah. Yes. Everything. It's like, okay, I never. So how has that, both of you, I mean, impacted you? Because I mean, you spoke on social, and it's true. Like I'm 30, my sister's 23, and even our dynamic is a little different.
That's funny.
Like it's like even
I
our
just
dynamic.
said somebody when it first got started, somebody's 3, and then now they're 20.
No, yeah, you're literally talking about my sister, and she knows your songs, by the way.
Wow. Wow.
But that's my point. Like, you know, it's just a different experience. So, like, how has social impacted both of your career? Because, like, Lex, I know how much, you know, you're active on social and do so many different things. And, you know, music, you were just talking about your experience. So how has it impacted your career? And do you guys, what's your overall feeling about social media in the industry? I know it's a broad question, but
I think it's pros and cons.
yeah.
You know, because you think about this year how we had the quarantine. Imagine if we had the quarantine and we didn't have social media.
Bruh.
Oh my God, I don't know how a lot of people would get through it.
Yeah.
Bruh.
You know, so I feel like this year you can say that it could have been life saving for a lot of people.
True.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
and on the other hand, you know, it just depends on what you kind of share. Like somebody like music, you feel me? Like as a celebrity, you know, I can imagine it's a lot of people that just feel invited in on their own accord. I guess that's one type of thing. People feel invited in on their own accord, and that can be invasive. So I think
Very.
good and it's bad things that come with it. You know, I say for where I'm at, I feel like it's essential because, you know, I got to get more people knowing who I am. You know, like I mentioned, I did a campaign with HP and Genius, and it was mandatory that I shared on my socials. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I wouldn't be able to get certain opportunities without just having a social. So, you know, I think I really feel like it's made the game. It's made the game more confusing, but once you figure it out, it's easier.
Yeah.
It's a great. That's a perfect way of putting it. Yes, it definitely made it way more chaotic. But once you fit, like, kind of create, you can. There's no like cheat code you could get. You almost have to create your own cheat code.
Yeah.
You gotta create. You gotta gather up enough game and then piece it together for how it works for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm learning. So, and he's right, you know, for a person like me that come from a time where there wasn't social media, you were actually promoted to or encouraged to be more secretive, be more mysterious. Don't tell all your business, you know. Don't oversaturate the market with your presence and all of that, because it was very important, because information can kind of get crossed up because of how it was being put out. Some things may have been running where whatever something else you may do may run interference and cancel that out. So things had to work in a timely fashion. Like, and when I mean timely, you had to take your time. You had to wait for things to wait for people to have one narrative of you so that you can help, you know, shape that into what you need it to be. Now that's a 24-hour cycle.
Yeah. Everything is just.
And you can be introduced to the world and forgotten about in 24 hours.
Right.
You understand? So now I'm having to learn a whole new mode of operation. I'm having to readjust. I'm having to uncondition and then recondition. You know, of course, he's going to come from a different perspective because he came up in a time where social media, you know, was shaping up to be something in a time when, you know, his formidable moments where he was becoming, you know, the person that you know now, that was built into the process. Yeah, me, I'm already a thing that happened, and I'm for a lot of people, I'm a dinosaur. I need to hang it up, you know, and now I have to get on with this whole new thing. Like, it's a lot. It's like, you know, you just got divorced at 50. You trying to get back out there and date again. Like, okay. So what's the new wave now? Like, what's popping right now? Like, and folks pulling your car like, bro, nobody does that anymore. What are you doing? What? That used to be my main move.
Oh, goodness. Social media,
No.
yeah, it's a blessing and a curse.
It's just different. It's just different now. You can either fight against it, you know what I'm saying, or you can fight with it. Either way, it's a fight. From where I am, either way, it's a fight. Either you can fight against it, and good luck, because it's not going anywhere no time soon, as far as I can see, bro. Like, you can say whatever you want to say about it.
It's not going nowhere. Yeah. I think it's gonna get worse. It's gonna be more.
Right. So either way, that part. So either you gonna fight with it or fight against it. I just decided, to stop fighting with myself. I just was gonna fight with it, and the more you fight with it, you start realizing, well, it's not really a fight. It's just work. Right. It's just work in a different way. The only reason why it's a fight because you got to move different than what you used to. It's uncomfortable. It's inconvenient. So I had if you would have talked to me maybe like a year ago, you know what I'm saying? I probably would have said a whole bunch of different things.
A whole different perspective.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have been, positive at all. However, I've learned, through the years, especially with people, hanging around a person like A-Lex and just seeing, the fruits of his labor and seeing what he's been able to manifest and accomplish. It's like, okay. All right, so the whole old way that you was doing it, you got to throw that in the trash. It doesn't work anymore. There was a time where it did work. I'll give you that. Good job. That doesn't work anymore. Do something else, and here is what you could be doing. So now I'm having to just read whatever I need to read whatever in order to get back out there, because it would be different if I was just leaning on my catalog and leaning on my legacy, leaning on the brand and being like, hey man, they're going to have to call me for a show. They're going to have to call, dude, I legit feel like I haven't gotten started yet. And I tell people that, and they be like, what do you mean?
Yeah, that sounds
You're
crazy.
you. What do you mean? I know it sounds weird, and only reason why I know that it sounds weird is because people tell me that it sounds weird, but it doesn't sound weird to me. It doesn't sound weird to me. I'm yet to really get into, certain things, that I really want to do. Being Lex, we talk about it, but it takes a while, and it's a challenge when people already know you for a thing, and then you're trying to introduce something else. It's like, but no, that's not who you are. You're this thing. It's like, I'm this as well. Yeah. You just didn't know yet, and I'm trying to give it to you now.
Yes. Well, I'm excited, y'all. I like I said, I really like the song. A-Lex, I've been hearing all your music, and Latoria puts me on all the time, and I'm loving it. I think it was super cool to do this interview. I feel like I got gems because at a certain point I'm like, let me take notes so I can learn and make sure I'm but I know the viewers and the audience will too. So I appreciate you guys so much. I mean, A-Lex, I've been liking your music. Latoria's been telling me so much music. I've been a fan for a very long time. So this was a great opportunity for me, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Super excited to write the interview, and if it's okay with you guys, I'll probably share the video too, because I think sometimes people like to hear us talk also.
Okay.
Yeah, if that's okay, of course.
I don't care.
Okay, just making sure. But I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the time too, because I'm excited to write it. I feel like I gained a lot.
Nice, cool. I'm glad that you were able to, get what you got out of it.
Yes, thank you so much. And it was nice meeting both of you. Alex, we've met once or twice, but nice for the Zoom conversation also.
All right, Kirby, I appreciate you. Thanks again.
No problem. Thank you.
Brad, talk to you later, big bro.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
How about that?
Bye, guys.
All right.